Penn State football gets 2 commitments on the traditional signing period, something that doesn't happen a lot for the Nittany Lions under head coach James Franklin. I'm your host, Frank Carr. We're going to take a look at both those guys this week on T. Frank's Film Room. The first we're looking at is Tyrece Mills, Lackawanna Community College defensive back. He has been committed to the Nittany Lions for a while now, but officially signs on the traditional signing period. So we'll take a look at his film and where he fits into the Penn State defense, what his strengths are, and some of his areas that he needs to develop to be a complete player or to see the field for the Nittany Lions. Get into all that in just 1 second, but a couple things first. First thing you should do is subscribe to Blue White Illustrated and hit the notifications so you don't miss an episode or any of our content that comes out, like the daily edition or our recruiting podcast or one of T. Frank's film rooms. The second thing is subscribe to On3 for just $1. You see On3 up there in the corner? That is our parent company, and when you sign up for just $1 for 12 months of access, you get 12 months of access for $1. That should sell you right there. But the other thing is T. Frank's Film Room, you get early access. So these will come out, the written version earlier in the day, and then in the evening, the YouTube video is officially published for the public. So make sure you sign up so you get early access, you get the detailed information, and then if you sign up and you're a member, you can be on the Lions Den message board. You can ask me questions. We can go a little more in-depth about some of the stuff. Can't always get to everything on the film. All kinds of great stuff at On3. Link is the first one in the description of the video. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at Tyrece Mills. He is the 7th overall player in the nation in JUCO rankings for On3, number 1 safety, and the number 2 player in the state of Pennsylvania. So another high-quality prospect for Penn State coming over from Lackawanna Community College. And like the last couple that Penn State has gotten at the safety position, Jaquan Brisker and Jair Brown, there's some commonalities that are coming out of Lackawanna. And the first one, we'll get right into it, is his ability to make plays on the ball. The vision and the instincts to go know his assignment and then go do something else. So here, on the backside of the play, he watches the quarterback. Okay, now the quarterback breaks the pocket, scramble, so he's going to squeeze the sideline, gets all the way to the football, and if that defensive back isn't in there, he's making a play on the ball as well. This is a common theme that Lackawanna wanted to get him around the football. Edge rusher. Uncommon strength and balance through contact as an edge rushing safety. So another thing you can do with him, a little more versatility. Versatility is the key here word when we're talking about Tyrece Mills. Here he is, again, coming off his assignment, watching the play, and even though this one's completed, watch the way he gets the tackle in that situation, prevents a big play. Maybe some false steps here. He's got to watch that going forward, but the recovery's great, gets into position, gets the interception. He's always around the football. Great ball skills in the air. So there's a bunch of different ways we're going to take a look at this, but just know that Tyrece Mills is around the football. Here he is again. The receiver makes a mistake. Quarterback throws the ball where he thinks the receiver's going to be. All he does is watch where it is. It's a simple thing, but that level of awareness, looking beyond just your assignment and seeing the field for what it is and what's going on, keeping your eyes on the quarterback, advanced level things that you don't see, especially at high school players. Obviously, being at the JUCO level, he's had some time to refine his game that other players haven't, but he did it. He did those things. And the defensive backs coming out of Lackawanna all seem to be able to make plays on the football, so Penn State gets another one in Tyrece Mills. It's undeniable that that is a skill of Mills. Whether it's in run defense, whether it's as a pass rusher or in coverage, he's around the football. And that tells me early on, if we're looking at what position he might play, Penn State's boundary safety is a good fit with the different types of athleticism he seems to have. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. But the number one thing outside of his play on the ball is his run defense. Tyrece Mills likes to hit. He really likes to play the run. He's good around the box, and as you saw at the line of scrimmage as a blitzer, but you'll see him in run defense as well. So here he is, tackle in open space. That's really good. He's an add-on here. He's not getting blocked, but gets in the backfield, gets a tackle. Big thing right there. Here he is from the safety position, 10 yards deep, coming downhill, getting a tackle for a loss in the backfield. Great stuff. Filling the alley. You see this time and time again with him, of his ability to burst downhill from a free safety position and add on in the run so that you can play with a light box and with some security. Here he is off the edge, again, as an edge rusher, beating the split block to get there for a tackle for a loss. And again, defending the flat, coming down, laying a hit, getting a little bit of an extra something or other on the pile. Good coverage instincts, good in the box, and a hard hitter. So we've got a versatile player that can play multiple levels of the defense. So then what's the next thing? How does he do in coverage? Outside of just making plays on the ball, how do they deploy him? Well, it wasn't just as a box safety. He did line up deep and he did line up in the slot. So there's a good amount of off-ball ability here. Watch the way he breaks on this. He sees it and he goes and he gets it. He trusts what he sees. That's a hard thing to do sometimes for players. Here he is, just in underneath zone coverage, just showing the multiple ways that he can play. Deep safety, he doesn't have as many snaps here, but he does have them, and you can see he makes breaks on the ball. Here he is, true deep safety. They got a 3-receiver set. Reads it a little bit wrong. I wanted to put this one in here just to show you, the speed and the ability to get to the edge, get to the boundary. I don't know that he has elite coverage skill to go sideline to sideline as that deep free safety, but he's got good speed. And then when you ask, okay, zone coverage, what about man coverage? They weren't afraid to use him in single coverage as well. This is one area where I'm going to keep a pin in this, because receivers at this level, he does a great job here on this whip route, keeps himself engaged, doesn't over pursue, gets a little handsy, but you get away with that even at the Division I level. Here he is, stacking, getting underneath, getting in the hip pocket, good coverage downfield. Obvious shift, obvious man coverage. He's taken up the seam, and underthrown ball, but he looks back and he gets it. Those ball skills show up, so good man coverage skills we've seen. And sometimes you just get caught flat-footed. That's what I think happened on this particular play. So I don't know that's indicative of his skills, but I also am leaving whether he's a man coverage player open-ended or not. I see the hip flip and the hip flexibility to turn and run. It's just, again, when I'm looking at the overall speed, 6 foot 200, does he run in the 4.4s, or is he 4.5 guy? That does change. That incremental thing changes how much and who he can cover. But he shows the versatility, going to say it again, to play so many different positions. So that boundary safety, he could play the field safety as well. He can play as a third down package player, maybe in the slot in certain situations. We'll see how that, again, how that translates determines sort of the upper end of his profile as an athlete. But good athleticism. He's the sort of player that you can't peg it because there are no overwhelming traits. He's not super twitchy. He doesn't have great burst, but he's got good burst. He's got good mobility. Sometimes he pulls himself out of position and he gets back into that. That's recovery speed. So there's all kinds of great things on film, and there's all kinds of great traits that he has that you want to have in the secondary. And having those guys, that sets the floor for your defense. I know that people focus on the run defense and that they focus on those things. If you're giving up touchdowns, if you're giving up big plays and you're not taking the football away, that's how you get bled, with that run defense and not giving up 5-6 yards of carry. If you can't get the ball, we saw what happened with Penn State's defense. When they took the ball away, they were elite. And having players that do that, continually refreshing that stock, is really important. Now, if there's one area that he has to clean up, and this is absolutely correctable, it is his actual tackling. He tends to over-pursue. We saw some happy feet in coverage, but this is where I think the weakness shows up of, this to me is a discipline issue of just don't try so hard to make a play. He pulls himself out of position a little bit, and in certain situations, coming downhill, he throws shoulders. He doesn't wrap up and hit hard. Even on good hits, he tends to throw shoulders and go at ankles and go at feet. Over pursuit, sometimes he's looking too much to make a hit and not to make a tackle. Jaquan Brisker, by the way, had this problem early in his career. I thought he was doing this a little too much. So he became one of the best tackling safeties in college football at one point. That's correctable. Here, even in this one, you see kind of coming in low on these plays. Great athletes at the Power 5 level are going to jump over that. But in this situation, he gets the tackle. I just want to point that part out because it's something he's going to need to fix, but is fixable. So what you have there with Tyrece Mills is a really intriguing football player that you can use in a number of ways. That gives Penn State flexibility to disguise their coverage and to play players out of their traditional positions, making it harder on the quarterback to know what's going to happen pre-snap and then post-snap. Tyrece Mills gives you that flexibility. So then when we look at how he projects to Penn State, I think it's pretty clear that to start, I'm going to say he's the boundary safety, but again, depending on how fast he is, he can play either position, and that really helps Penn State in the bigger picture while they have a couple of guys that are good at the boundary position, they don't have anybody who's a veteran. Now, he's not going to be an early enrollee because of the situation. Had to some academic things that had to go right, and had some academic scheduling stuff that didn't quite work out for him to be an early enrollee. So he's not going to be on campus learning the defense in the spring. However quickly he can get up to speed on that side determines how quickly he can get into the defense. And we've seen previously guys who can do that, those plays and those instincts start to take over once they get comfortable. Right now, with only a true freshman in the lineup right now at the boundary safety, there is an opportunity for him to come in and play early. But versatility, you can't go wrong with having that, so he'll find a way to make his way onto the field in some capacity. That I'm pretty sure about, because he's got a very mature game. So that'll do it for Tyrece Mills and his film room here on T. Frank's Film Room. I'm your host, Thomas Frank Carr. Don't forget, sign up for On3 so you get early access and you get the inside information in Penn State recruiting. I'm your host, Thomas Frank Carr. We'll talk to you later.